In brief, Jai Dhan.
Shri Guru Brahmanandari Vividhari Shri Radha Vinodi Hari Ki Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Purikacharya Asataka Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Purikacharya Asataka Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Shri Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Shri Bhakti Prakyam Keshava Goswami Ki Jai Nityalila Pravishtam Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौर गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालयै कृष्णाय कृष्ण in all scriptures, everywhere, it is written and declared that God is so much merciful. He has so much powers. He can do anything as he like. He can create lakhs and lakhs worlds like this in a second. And he can also destroy the whole world but not killing anyone. And He is causeless merciful. We are part and parcel of God. We have forgotten Him and we have come to this world. This world is very miserable. And here, if we want or not, we will have to die. We will have to be old. Whether we want or not, so many problems will coming. A beautiful girl or beautiful boy, after some days, he becomes old. If a row comes, cancer or anything like this, he cannot be survived. He will have to die. There is no certainty that in boyhood or in young age or in old age we will die. Only God knows. He controls all. So God is causeless, merciful, and He wants that all are like His Son, His eternal friends or sons. They should realize me and serve me. And they should be happy forever. For this, sometimes He sends very powerful associates. And they are called messenger, son, or acharya, or guru. Preceptors, also preceptors. And if he realizes that they cannot do so well, that in any form he descends from spiritual world, transcendental world. When he defends in this world, we see him, but we cannot realize that he is God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. We think that, he is like us, a man. But a realized person, devotees may realize him. Because devotees are also transcendental. So, God wants to, He descends out of His mercy to help all who are now has become foolish like ignorant. Now we think that we are this physical body. And we want to be happy by this physical body. But this physical body is perishable, not eternal. And there are so many problems in this body. So, we cannot be happy in this body. So God descends and wants to make their heart and mind and everything transcendental. So He can transcendentally serve Him. If a man does not become transcendental, he cannot serve transcendental Krishna, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, we should try to follow His instructions. Even a drunkard, a prostitute, very foolish, God can change their mind and shower His mercy to them, because He descends only for this, out of pity, out of His pity. Even we see that those they don't wanted to admit God, taking so much wine, drugs, always busy in lust. Anyhow, God gave His mercy to them, and they became very religious person. They were totally changed. Such a what? Manifestation of God came, Himself God, Supreme Personality of God, came in a shape of man. But we should realize that He does not descend in a shape of man, because the God has eternal shape, transcendental shape. In Bible it has been written, God created man after His own image. In Bible also it has been written. Yeah?
In Quran.
Quran. Inna alaka khalaka men surati. That खुदा अपने रूप के अनुसार जीवों को बनाया. खुदा Allah, He created man after His own image. Same. And in also Veda, Sateo Samya idam agra ashita. And we know that even Jesus Christ, He has told that I am Son of God. He was Son of God. And that is why He is called Jesus Christ. Why? I know there are so many proofs that in his boyhood, young age, he went to India and he went to Varanasi, where so many teachers of monism used to live there, practice so much. So he was somewhat influenced by them, that God has no shape. But when he went to Puri, Jagannath Puri, on the seashore in India, very famous place, Puri, Jagannath Puri. And there he was so much influenced by Jagannath, whose name is Krishna. From Krishna, in Latin language, it comes Christa in Latin, and in Greek Christus. A little change, and in English Christ. Same thing. These words are same. Krishna, Krista, Christus, and then Christ. Same thing. No difference. So he is son of Christ, means son of Christus, son of Krishna. No harm. That is why in Bible it has been said. So God has said, very transcendental, very beautiful say. And all powers are invested in Him. Very wonderfully. He has so many powers. And in that powers, there is a mercy there. If God has no mercy, then we cannot worship Him. So we worship Him. And by worshipping Him, and His name is also very powerful, what? Hallowed be thy name. Very powerful. If we chant His name, that is Christ, Krishna, our heart will be transcendental. And gradually we will come over birth, death, sorrows and suffering. Nowadays we are like hogs, pigs, like animals, always in lust. Whatever we do to test anything. Woman wants to test male wants to test females. And after that they reject. And if not rejecting, after that it will be rejected. So we are not animal. We should try to realize that in this body there is a soul, parcel of Godhead. And that part and parcel has so much good qualities, love and affection. If you are not loving Krishna or the Supreme Personality of God, you are bound to love dogs. Because this is opposite to God. If you are not loving God, then you are bound to love dogs. So, if you are not loving God, then to God and dogs, always doing like this, decorating here. And if one hair becomes white, then you try to take it. And if whole or half, then what do you do? After that color, all will be like so discolor. So we have love and affection here. But if you are not loving Godhead, then you are bound to love anything. Your body, male or female, by constitution of soul, anyone is not male or female. But it is very wonderful that only by the coverings, by the cloths, we try to test each other. Very wonderful thing. So we should try to realize all these things. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead sometimes sends His associates to help us to be out of this illusory Maya, and sometimes He descends Himself. So 500 years before, the same God descended Himself with His all associates. And He, by His kirtan, by His melody of kirtan, singing the name, uttering of the name, He helped so many these jivas, living entity. Then very soon, in one life, they were promoted to very pure devotees, and they went to transcendental world. So we can tell one pastime of that Godhead. That there were two drunkards, always drinking. There was not any sin that they were not accustomed to do. They used to go to prostitutes, they used to kill so many animals, taking eggs, flesh, opium, and always struggling and fighting with others. They used to live in a very big town. The civilized person were afraid to go by that road where they used to live. Always drinking, doing so ferocious things. So all were very afraid of this. Their name was Jagai and Madhai. How they were liberated, you should try to. You should tell something about it. Harinamer Mala. Harinamer Mala.
So Maharaj has asked me to speak something. We'll try. I'm not very conversant with this story, so I'll try and speak best I can. So, as Maharaj has mentioned, 500 years ago, Krishna, he appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
What he is doing? He should come here?
He's coming.
He should come here.
So 500 years ago, Krishna, he appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And, as Maharaj has mentioned, and is stated, that this form of Krishna, this manifestation of Krishna, actually he's Krishna himself, but he is the most merciful, most magnanimous, and most munificent form of the Lord. And he came with his associates. One such associate, his name is Nityananda. If we look over here on this side, on the far corners, you have the deity figures. On this side, there's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and on the next to him is Lord Nityananda. So they're none different from Krishna and Balaram in the spiritual world. And they descend in this form 500 years ago. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would perform kirtan, which is chanting of the holy names of the Lord, with his associates. So he gathered his associates and he gave them instruction. He said, I want you to go door to door to people's homes, and I want you to beg alms from them. But what were the alms that he asked? He said, I want you to beg from them that they should just please chant the holy names of Krishna, that they should worship Krishna, and they should follow the instructions that Krishna has given, as in Bhagavad Gita. So he had his different associates, they went off in parties. And Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, he went off with another associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Haridas Thakur. Now Haridas Thakur, he was quite old in age, and Nityananda, he was much younger. But Nityananda, he's known as Nityananda Avadut. Though he is at the topmost level of spiritual realization, he is actually God himself, appearing, as Maharaj has explained, appearing as a human being. But actually he is descending from the spiritual world. And he would act in very, to the common man, he would act in a very strange way. But these activities that he would perform, that they were influenced due to his internal state.
You can go like this. Go.
So these, he would act in strange ways, but actually this was influenced by internal states of ecstasy. For instance, in the town where they lived, in Navadvip, flowing is the Ganges River. I think most of us have heard of the Ganges River. And Nityananda would be going with Haridas Thakur, and influenced by high ecstasies of love of God, he would jump into the Ganges River and he would swim so quickly towards a crocodile and then go right for the mouth of the crocodile and start wrestling in the Ganga with the crocodile. And Haridas would look completely bewildered and amazed and say, Nitai, Nitai, what are you doing? Nitai, stop! And then next minute Nitai would just act as if he had been bitten by the crocodile, and he just start floating down the Ganges River as if he was dead. Other times they would go knocking on people's doors, and when the householder would come to his door, then Nitai would jump through the window, and as the person was looking at Haridas, then Nityananda would just jump at his feet and grab his feet and beg, please chant the name of Krishna, worship Krishna, please follow his instructions. So Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, he was performing all these outrageous activities, and Haridas Thakur, he was thinking, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has teamed me with Lord Nityananda, I can't keep up with his crazy activities. So they were going down, and there was a place where Jagai and Madai, they stayed. And then the Navadvip Basis, the residents of Navadvip, they warned them, they said, no, don't go to this place, because over there is living Jagai and Madai. So Jagai and Madai, they were brought up from a very aristocratic Brahmin family. Means they were brought up in a very priestly, religious family. But they had turned to very simple activities, as was mentioned. They engaged in all sorts of nefarious activities: drinking alcohol, smoking, gambling, prostitution, rape. In fact, it's stated that they engaged in so many illicit activities that the secretary of Yamaraj is the person, the demigod, when one leaves the body, all the sinful activities that one has done, then he takes account. And it's taken account by his secretary called Chitragupta. So Chitragupta, he became so bewildered that he could not keep up with all the sinful activities that were performed by Jagai and Madai. Even if he had a very high-powered computer like our friend over there, Sridham Saka, he would not be able to. In fact, his computer would just explode. So, Nityananda, he was thinking that, no, because my Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's come to deliver the most fallen people in this age. And if he goes, and if through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagai and Madai are delivered, then his name will be spread throughout. So, not heeding to the instructions or advice of the local people, then he started to go with Haridas, and Haridas was following him, wondering what's going to happen next. So they went up, and Nityananda, very humbly, and Jagai and Madai, they were drunk. They were completely drunk. They were always drunk, actually. They were just kind of swerving from side to side, and their eyes were red and just rolling round in the sockets of their eyes. And Nityananda, he said, please chant the name of Krishna. I beg you, just chant the name of Krishna. Please.
One time even. One time even. Once.
One name.
Yes. He said, please just chant one name of Krishna. And then these drunkards, their eyes couldn't really focus, and they were just looking. And they said, what? Get out of here! And then they were going to chase Nitai. And Nitai and Haridas, immediately, they just started running. Then Nitai was quite young and very strong, energetic, athletic, and he just kind of high-stepped it. And he was gone. And Haridas was old, and he was lagging behind, and he was panting, and he just... Nitai, what are you doing? So after every day they would have to go and report to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of their different activities. So they went and...
What became after? They began to follow, running quickly to...
So they were running, I've explained, I don't know the story very well. So they were running after Nityananda and Haridas, and they went through some alleyway and some corners, and in this way they just narrowly escaped.
Yes.
Jagai and Madai. And panting, Haridas Thakur, he went with Nityananda, and they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
First they went to Advaita Acharya.
Then they went to Advaita Acharya, and Haridas Thakur, he said, oh, what kind of person am I going out with? And Nityananda, his desire was that Jagai and Madai, that they become saved by this, and they get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaita Acharya, he said, because Nityananda, he has desired this, then it must happen. Is that right?
Okay, go on.
Then after they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Oh, first Advaita Acharya told, from where you are coming running and how you are bathing.
Breathing so hard.
So on. Then Haridas Thakur told, I was with Nityananda, this mad Nityananda, and he went to a mad person, and now they were quickly following us to beat or to kill us. Anyhow, we have escaped. Then Advaita Thakur, I know. the dunkers.
Jagai Madai.
Why you are associating with this mad Nityananda? And you will be beaten by them.
By associating with Nityaj, you will be beaten by them.
I know that one day, very quickly, one very big mad Chaitanya, and second Nityananda, and third two, all will sit together and they will drink so much wine and they all will be mad, I know. Then Haridas Thakur told, "Oh Prabhu, don't betray me. I know that Nityananda Prabhu is Lord. He has come to sprinkle His mercy. So if Nityananda Prabhu has desired that they should be come out of Maya and they should be pure, then I know that they have become pure. Only some
Formality.
formality is there to be done. Otherwise they are.
Liberty.
Don't
Betray me.
betray me." Then they went to Nityananda. To
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
no, then go.
You sure you don't want to finish?
What you should.
So they went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they reported the news to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as was their daily occurrence. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he was recognizing that because Lord Nityananda he had desired, then definitely Jagai Madai, that they would be saved. So then they went again, and during this time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they would perform Harinam Sankirtan in the house of Srivas Thakur. They would perform Sankirtan from evening, 6-7 o'clock in the evening, and it would go right up to the wee hours of the morning, even up to dawn. And at that time then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they would go to the Ganges and they would take their morning bath. So during this time when they were performing such ecstatic kirtan, Jagai and Madai, they would be in a distant place drinking their alcohol, completely drunk. But in that drunken stupor, they would hear the chanting coming from the house of Srivas Thakur. And just by hearing this chanting, it was creating some very auspicious effect for them. So this is why we see that devotees, they go out with drums, cartels, and they're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because it's giving bhakti sukriti, it's giving pious devotion, pious credits to people. That even imperceptibly, people they don't understand what is the chanting. Even they may not like the chanting. They may even abuse the devotees. But the effect of the sound is going, just like medicine. One may not know the potency of medicine, but they take medicine and the effect will be there. So in this way, Jagai Madai, they were in the drunken state. They were hearing this chanting and they were thinking, what is this stupid noise going on here? And they were even abusing. But still, the holy name was going and it was having some effect. So Nitai, he was still undeterred, that he had made up his mind that he will go and preach and give mercy to Jagai Madai. And though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's so merciful, Nityananda Prabhu is, it can even be said that he's even more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And his desire is there, so his desire is good as reality. So they tried again. Nityananda Prabhu, he went and imploring Jagai Madai, he asked him, please chant the holy name of Krishna. And Jagai Madai again, they were completely drunk. They weren't even standing, they were just rolling on the ground. And then Madai, he picked up an earthen pot and he said, get out of here! Boom! He threw it and hit Nityananda right on the head with the pot. And then blood started to ooze out. So Haridas was aghast. they got up and
again he wanted to.
And he wanted to hit him again. And at this time his friend, Jagai, he was becoming a little bit sober. He said, stop! Stop! What are you doing? This is a saintly person. Please, do not do anymore. And then he stopped Madai. But somebody who had seen this immediately went to the spot where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was with his devotees performing kirtan. And then he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Lord Nityananda, Nitai, he'd been hit and that blood was profusely coming from his head. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hearing this, immediately he became furious, so angry, like a lion. And immediately, with his chakra, Krishna, he has, for demoniac personalities, then he has his weapons, a disc, a Sudarshan chakra, and a club. So, did he call chakra?
Yes.
So, he called chakra! And immediately his Sudarshan chakra came. And he just started running to the scene. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very, very tall. And he was just like a golden flash, just streaking down. And Jagai and Madai, they were still in their drunken state. And as he was streaking down with the chakra, and then Jagai and Madai, they saw him, immediately they were stunned, just in their tracks. They just like froze. And their drunkenness immediately just went away as they saw death personified coming. They saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they saw that now our death is imminent. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came closer with the chakra and he was about to just release it on the two brothers. Then Nitai, he said, no, stop. Actually, Jagai, he saved me. He protected me. He said, because when Madai was going to hit me again, then Jagai, he stopped him from hitting me. And also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Mahaprabhu that you've come in this age not to kill the demons. That in previous ages that you came and you killed demoniac personalities. But in this age you haven't come to kill demoniac personalities, but rather you come to kill the demonic propensities which are within. Because in this age of Kali, this is called the age of Kali, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, that practically, a large percentage of the population, they engage in sinful activities. And if you were to kill, then you'd practically have to kill everybody. So then, hearing that Jagai had actually protected his Nitai, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his heart, it's melted. And his heart melting with compassion that Jagai had been so compassionate, he saw, to his dear one, Nitai. Then immediately he picked up Jagai and embraced him. Then embracing Jagai, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he transferred his ecstasy of love directly into the heart of Jagai. And Jagai started to feel states of ecstasy. And he started to cry and weep, feeling repentance and falling down at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Seeing all of this, Madai, who was right next to him, he said, how about me? How about me? Seeing his compatriot so now turned from a drunken rascal, now manifesting states of love of God. He said, please. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said no. He said, but we've done everything together. We've raped together, we've plundered together, we've gambled together, we've drunk together, we've done everything together. So if you give him love of God, then why not me? And now he became eager for love of God. Then Chaitanya said, no, I cannot. He said, because you have offended my Nitai. And Nitai, he's more dear to me than my very self. So teaching is there that for oneself, a devotee will not take offense. But if another devotee is offended, then that devotee will act like fire. Just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came and he manifested the qualities. His most important teachings were Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarori Vasarishvana, Amanina Manadena, Kirtanayak Sadahari. One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind. One should be more tolerant than the tree. One should not expect respect from others. One should give respect to all and not expect any respect from others. And one should always chant the holy names of Lord in such a humble state of mind. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he showed in his life how he was so humble. Even though he was mistreated in so many ways, he always tolerated all situations. But when Nityananda was mistreated, then he became so angry. And he said that, no, I cannot forgive you. That only if you go to Nitai, then he can forgive you. So then Madai, immediately he approached the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. And because Lord Nityananda, he's so merciful, he's so kind-hearted, he's so compassionate, he takes no offense at all. Then immediately, without any hesitation, then Lord Nityananda, he embraced him very lovingly and bestowed his mercy on him. So then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with all his devotees there, then he gave some more instructions. He said that all of you should now understand that Jagai and Madai, that now, because they've repented for their activities, because in this age of Kali, we're born performing so many sinful activities. As Maharaj has said, that from birth practically, we don't know what is sinful and what is not sinful. We may have some kind of idea according to our different cultures, but from the absolute spiritual perspective, then we do not really know. And unknowingly we perform so many sinful activities. But here, Jagai and Madai, they repented. So regardless what one has done, but if one approaches proper...
They promise that from today we will never drink, never smoke, not doing any bad activities, we are promising. And from today we will chant always Krishna. We will purify the ghat and we will respect all. And thus they became pure and they became devotees. Here, what is the hidden instruction? Can you tell something? What is the hidden instruction behind this pastime? That the transcendental name of transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead is more merciful than himself. Personally he can liberate and he can sprinkle his mercy to few persons. But by name is so merciful, so powerful, that even a drunkard, even a lusty person, even gamblers, having so much these qualities, and if they will chant, this name will purify his heart, and they will realize themselves and God, and after some time, in so many births, they may be so much purified that they will be engaged in service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here there is instruction that by chanting name of holy name, it may take so many long process. But we see here in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu that we realize the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and His associate. They can do in a moment. They can take anyone who is drunkard, who is so nonsense, like animals, but they can purify in one life up to stage of prem. We see that there are so many sages, holy persons. In so many lives, they are promoted to prem. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercifully and Nityananda Prabhu mercifully, He promoted in one life Jagai Madhai. There were so much drunkards, offenders, always cutting animals, doing so much brutal activities. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sprinkled his mercy to take them at the stage of love and affection, prem, Shraddha, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav. He galloped all these things. No?
Yeah.
He had not to do any association more. Nothing else. He promoted them at once. From where? He has not to go in the process that first sadhu sang, association of holy persons, then initiation from Guru and serving Guru and taking some instruction and following instruction, and then Shraddha, Shraman, Kirtan, Smaran, Bandhan, Pal, Seven and all doing. And after that, Shraddha will come into Nishtha. And Nishtha, from Nishtha it will come
Ruchi.
some Ruchi. And it may take hundreds births to come from Nishtha to Ruchi. And from Ruchi to Asakti, it may also can take so many births. And from Asakti, it is very, very rare persons that in so many births they can reach up to the stage of. But what he became? Like a miracle. There was no more association. In one birth, he was promoted to
Prem.
Prem at once, galloping all these stages. So this is mercy, unalloyed mercy or causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is hidden in this. The devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they can promote by the association. Like Narad promoted Valmiki. And how glorious and strong is the powerful the mercy of God. And how merciful and powerful the power of Harinam, the name of holy name of Lord. That even a holy person like Agastya in India, only he took the name of Krishna and he took whole water of whole ocean in world, and whole vessels were like dry. Have you heard this? Agastya did it. So anyone can do anything by the power, majestic power of Harinam. If anyone wants anything worldly desire, very quickly it will fulfill. But he will not give love and affection to Krishna, Supreme Personality of God. If anyone wants to be liberated from this world, from sufferings, death and birth, like this chain, very quickly by chanting name. Not name, by chanting the semblance of name. He will be liberated from this world. And if he is chanting pure name in the association of very qualified Vaishnavas, then he will have love and affection, and love and affection he can serve God like friends, like son, like beloved. So we should chant Harinam. We should chant the holy name of God. One thing is there also, very important. In this world, nowadays, so much pollution is going on. In every way. Like air is polluted now. Water, so much. Even the sea water, ocean water is now polluted. So much fishes are now dying. And if anyone is taking eating these fishes, they become so much sick, so many diseases comes. You cannot imagine. So everywhere, water is polluted, air is polluted, everything is polluted. Now whole world, all these scientists, intelligent persons are so much worried for this. One day, the whole water of sea may be turned into poison, whole air, whole water can be like. So also world is now going to be polluted by words.
Ether.
Huh?
The ether will also.
Ether. So when you will chant the very powerful name of Holy Lord, it purifies whole ether and whole world, atmosphere of the whole world. Like if you will throw a stone in the pond, the waves will come, and in round they will touch all the corners everywhere in the pond, and they will touch, all the waves will touch the bank everywhere. So these words, what we are uttering, oh, you should kill, oh, and bad words, always quarreling, these are polluting all atmosphere. And if anyone is chanting holy name, Hare Krishna, or any name of powerful God, then what it will do? It will purify. Very soon, everywhere, the sound will go and touch all parts of the world, ether, and it will purify. And if this holy name was not uttered by devotees here and there, then I think that world has been destroyed. But only by the power of majestic power and wonderful power of these names, oh, we are saved. Sometimes scientists, they forecast that a war is going to be done. So many constellations are going to be inauspicious, and they will crush whole world. Only
1 month before.
They have forecasted that so many constellations are going to be fight each other, and whole world will be damaged. So, but how we are saved? Only by the wonderful power of holy name. We devotees are uttering in collective way or only alone. So this is so powerful. So we should have a strong faith in name of God. Whether I am doing something or nothing, daily in morning you should try to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. If you cannot chant only Krishna, only Nam, oh God, I am yours. I am surrendering myself in your lotus feet. Be merciful to us. This prayer, this singing of uttering of name, don't want any single farthing. No energy. You can do in night, day. You can do on your bed at this time of sleeping, at the time of walking. So, in any way you can chant this pure name, and it will purify your heart, and you will realize that you are happy. You know that what you are collecting in your whole life, you cannot take a single farthing or anything of this world. You cannot take. You will have to go empty hand. And your body also you cannot take. So try to do this very powerful name. Also we can tell another story about this. That there was a prostitute. She was told to by any king that you should try to make these devotees fall down. The king wanted to give his half kingdom to that prostitute. But how she was changed, very wonderful story. Oh, you should tell of Haridas Thakur and that.
There's also play.
After this, what will be a play?
Yeah.
Yes.
Madhava Prabhu.
Who?
For Madhava Prabhu. We are ready.
Ah, he should be ready.
So, Srila Gurudev has ordered me to speak something about the deliverance of the prostitute who came to bring about the fall down of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. About something more than 500 years ago in Bengal, there was a great devotee. He had taken birth in the family of Mohammedans, in a Muslim family. Yet,
The same Haridas who was with Nityananda.
yes,
Go
in
on.
the previous story, this Haridas Thakur, who was with Nityananda. So from his young age, he was always chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Therefore, even though he was born in an abominable birth, in a family of meat eaters, then still he was completely pure, because this is the potency of the name of God. If anyone chants the name of God, then he is considered to be completely purified by the power of the name of God. So Haridas Thakur, because he was a devotee of the Lord, then all of the wonderful qualities of the Lord were present in the personality of Haridas Thakur, and therefore he was loved by everyone. He was so popular in the society. So at that time there was one king. His name was Ramachandra Khan. This Ramachandra Khan, he was very proud, and he wanted to be so famous and loved by everyone, and he would give charity and do so many things in order to secure his own prestige. But he could see that this Haridas Thakur, he is so popular with all the people, but he doesn't give them anything. How is this? So he thought, I cannot tolerate this. Why are they giving all respect to him? They should give, he's just a useless person. He's just a sadhu, like a parasite in society. He doesn't do anything. But I am helping so many people. I am so important. They should respect me. So he wanted to make a plan whereby the fame, the reputation of Haridas Thakur would be completely ruined. So at that time, in his kingdom, there was one prostitute who was so astonishingly beautiful. If any man saw her, then his mind would be captured. And he called this prostitute, and he told her, I will give you half of my kingdom if you can do one thing. What is that? You should go there to the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur, and you should, when you go there, then you should try to seduce him. And then immediately I will come there with my soldiers, and we will catch him, and then the whole world will know that actually he is not a great personality at all. And then they will no longer respect him. So then she said to the king, yes, I will carry out this, but you should allow me to enjoy with Haridas Thakur first, and then you should come afterwards. So the king agreed, and the prostitute, very late at night, she went to the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur, his sadhan and bhajan was astonishing. He would chant every day, not less than 3 lakhs Harinam. That means...
And it takes, how much it takes time?
It takes 20 about 23 hours.
Yes.
To chant 3 lakhs Harinam, that means to chant 300,000 names of Krishna. It takes about 23 hours. So he would chant constantly, day and night, sitting in one place, very still, with Tulsi Devi there, and chanting the name of Krishna and remembering his divine pastimes. Always absorbed, and also chanting with such feelings of love for Krishna. So he would chant almost constantly, and then a little time he would take a little to eat and take a little rest. Except for sometimes when his mood was particularly high, then he would also forget to eat and forget to sleep also. And just always chanting. So that prostitute, she bathed herself and decorated herself in the most alluring dress and ornaments. And very late at night, she came there to that solitary place where Haridas Thakur was sitting alone and chanting the holy names. And coming before him, she began to present many alluring postures to capture his mind and say, "Oh Sadhu, you are so young, you are so beautiful and handsome, we should enjoy together and therefore we'll discover great happiness." Haridas Thakur said, "Oh certainly, I will definitely satisfy your desires, but I haven't finished my prescribed number of rounds. Every day I chant a fixed number, so you just sit down quietly here, and when I've finished, then definitely I'll satisfy your desire." So then she sat down and waited, and Haridas Thakur was chanting, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna." Chanting and chanting, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then the sun started to rise, and she thought, "Oh, now the morning has come, I should leave this place." So Haridas Thakur, he apologized. He said, "Oh, please forgive me, but I have to finish my prescribed number of rounds of chanting Hare Krishna, so I could not finish today, but if you come tomorrow, then definitely I will finish, and I will satisfy you." So then the prostitute, she went away, and the next night she dressed herself most elegantly again, and came to the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur. And he said, "Yes, I've almost finished, just please sit down here." And then he carried on chanting, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare," like this. And somehow or other, she was sitting and hearing his chanting. And by the power of his chanting, this vibration is so transcendently pure. If it goes in the ear of anyone and touches their hearts can be completely turned, changed. So even though she was a very sinful person, by hearing for some hours this names of God from the lips of a pure devotee, the potency was such that automatically, without her desire, that name started to come up from her heart and dance on her tongue also. She was sitting there and she found herself chanting, "Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram," along with Haridas Thakur. And then again, the sun was about to rise and the morning came, and she had not managed to distract his mind even for one moment from its constant service of Krishna. So then she went back, and the king was saying, "Hey, what's going on? Why haven't you seduced him?" She said, "Don't worry, give me one more chance. Definitely, tonight I will be successful." So then the next night, she went there, and she sat down by Haridas Thakur, and he said, "Yes, surely I will satisfy you." And then he began chanting. This time, her heart became so pure. The feeling came, "Oh, what am I doing? Truly he is a sadhu. He is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And yet I have come here on the order of the king to bring some ill fate, some downfall in his life. I am so wretched and sinful." So feeling very deep remorse in her heart, she approached Haridas Thakur and fell at his feet and said, "Oh Sadhu, oh Mahatma, please forgive me." Then she said, "You should know that actually I have come here to make you fall down, to make you break your vow and give up your service at the lotus feet of the Lord, because I was sent here by the king." Haridas Thakur, he's a pure devotee. And actually, the pure devotee of Krishna, he knows Krishna. And therefore, because he knows Krishna, who is the summum bonum of all existence, automatically he knows everything. So then he admitted to the prostitute, "Oh, my dear daughter, I already knew From the moment I saw you, I knew why you were here. I knew who had sent you and all of these things. But simply to purify you, I asked you to stay here and listen to the holy name. So now your heart has been changed. Your heart is being purified. So then the prostitute said, but I have committed such a great offense at your lotus feet. I don't know what I can do to become free from this. So then Haridas Thakur, he said, you should go to your home, and you have so many costly ornaments and jewelry and very beautiful clothes and so much money that you have made from your activities of prostitution. You should take all of these things and you should distribute them in charity to everyone. Then taking very simple white cloth.
One.
Only one. Very simple white cloth. Then you should come here and you should sit in one place and worship Tulsi Devi. Yeah, Tulsi Devi is here. You should worship Tulsi Devi every day by offering some drops of water, and you should pray to her for her mercy, and you should constantly chant the names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So then the prostitute, because she was completely changed, she gave up all of her sinful ways. She gave away all of the wealth she had earned by prostitution, and sitting in one place, she took complete shelter of the names of Krishna under the guidance of Haridas Thakur. And overnight, she became so famous that
Haridas Thakur, saying this, he went to other place.
Seeing this, Haridas Thakur then he left that place. The prostitute was left there chanting, and Haridas Thakur left that place.
He also told, you should not worry for your maintenance. Oh, so much will come, but only take very little.
So Haridas Thakur, he instructed her that now there is no need to worry about your maintenance, how you will live, from where your money will come, where will your food come from. Why? Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has promised, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripashate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshema vahamyaham. Oh my dear devotee, if you give your mind exclusively to me and worship me exclusively, thinking of nothing else, giving up all thoughts of your own happiness and your own future in this world, then I promise that I will always think of you, and whatever you have, I will maintain that. And if you need anything, I will personally take it on my back and bring it to you. So there's no need to worry about anything. So Haridas Thakur, when he was saying this, he knew that if one becomes such a pure devotee, Krishna will arrange everything. And many people will come there and give so many things. So he told her, Krishna will give you so many things, but you should not accept them. Only take a little food and perhaps sometimes a little cloth, just what you need to maintain the bare necessities of your life, and go on chanting Hare Krishna. So then
Daily you should take bath in Ganges here and worship Tulsi and chant.
So giving her these instructions, Haridas Thakur, he departed from that place. And overnight, then that prostitute, she became famous. And hundreds of people would come to see, oh, how glorious, a very wicked and sinful person has become such a great devotee in one moment. So just as the prostitute became so famous overnight, then Haridas Thakur, who was even more famous, then he became even more famous for turning the heart of that prostitute. So, in this pastime, there is a very wonderful teaching, and that is the power of Harinam and the power of Sadhu Sangha. By associating with the pure devotees of God and chanting the name of God in their company, then very quickly, in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, one's entire life can be transformed, completely transformed. So, we should always pray to Krishna, oh Krishna, please give me the association of your pure devotees. And then, having their association, I will surrender at their feet. I will try to serve them and give them all kinds of honor. And by their mercy, they will speak to me the Krishna Katha, the name of Krishna. And in this way, by their mercy and by the mercy of your name, my heart can be purified, and I can serve you and love you eternally.
Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Once upon a time, in the kingdom of King Puranjan, a young lady sat in the marketplace selling her wares.